You ever fancy chatting with your mates by talking directly into your watch like you're in some cheesy, ropey old sci-fi show? Or maybe your life ambition is to play a Flappy Bird ripoff right there on your wrist? Well, it sounds like you need a smartwatch. No matter your budget or taste, there is a smartwatch out there just for you. And chances are I've had it strapped on my arm at some point and banged on at length about it in a video. But assuming you can't be asked to sit there and spend an entire afternoon gorging on my smartwatches playlist, well, here's my pick of the very best smartwatches right now that aren't the Apple Watch. And this one here might look an awful lot like the Apple Watch, but it's less than half the price and it's actually better. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now, one of my favourite smartwatches in 2024 is still Samsung's Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, even if it launched well over a year ago. The Galaxy Watch 5 Pro comes with a wide choice of different bands, so you can pick your favourite strap and slap it on there to change up the look and feel whenever you fancy. Samsung's design is sleek, as usual, with a super durable titanium frame and sapphire glass. Unlike the older Watch 4 Classic, there's no rotating bezel here for effortlessly navigating through wearOS, but thankfully the AMOLED screen is perfectly responsive and a proper eye pleaser too, pumping out crisp and clear text and visuals. Of course, as this is a Samsung smartwatch, that does mean you get all of Samsung's own services slapped on there, like Samsung Pay. And yes, that does also mean that our great mate Bigsby is on here to assist your everyday life / annoy the living piss out of you. As always, you have comprehensive fitness tracking at your fingertips. Over 100 different types of sweat-inducing activities are supported here, including some proper outlandish efforts. You've also got upgraded sleep tracking, which identifies you as some kind of animal based on your kipping habits, and then serves up personalised advice on how to get better at being unconscious. Battery life isn't stellar, sadly, but as you'll discover, it is better than quite a lot of the smartwatches in this roundup. You'll generally get between 2 to 3 days of full-on use before it conks out. And while Samsung hasn't blessed us with an updated Pro in quite some time, they did at least spaff out a fresh new Galaxy Watch 6 Classic in 2023, which is absolutely still worth a squint. This sports a polished stainless steel body, once again with sapphire glass protecting that poppy OLED panel. On the software side, the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic is pretty much identical to the Watch 5 Pro. You got wearOS topped with a bugger load of Samsung's own apps and services. However, you've also got the benefit of that snazzy rotating bezel, which makes navigating around the menus and apps even more satisfying. Samsung's nippy new Exynos W930 chipset means slightly smoother performance, but the battery life is rather toilet. It'll just about stretch to 2 days if you don't go nuts, basically. And if your budget happens to max out at £300, well, no worries, there is a regular Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 as well. And it swaps out the stainless steel for more basic aluminium and also ditches the snazzy rotating bezel. The bezel is a miss, but as a result of the aluminium frame, it's also a lighter watch and a bit more compact, not to mention less abusive to your wallet. And if you're interested, I've done a full comparison between the Galaxy Watch 6 and the 6 Classic, which is live right now here on the Techsperts. Now, one of the best Samsung alternatives is Google's Pixel Watch 2, which is a stunning and slender pebble-style smartwatch that looks remarkably like the original Pixel Watch. Sadly, however, that shiny surface hasn't been upgraded to sapphire glass to really help protect that display. And yes, those bezels are still a wee bit chunky, but those grumbles aside, the Pixel Watch 2 is one of the best smartwatches for Android users. You get a similar wearOS experience as those Galaxy Watches, but this time with dedicated Google Assistant support. That Fitbit integration means you get a whole bunch of tools to track your running, hiking, squat thrusting, whatever. And Google is also chucking in a free 6-month subscription to Fitbit Premium, so you can make full use of those guided stress-busting mental health sessions as well as the full-on fitness exercise stuff. The Pixel Watch 2 has been improved in a few ways, including some slick new safety tools and even smoother performance thanks to the upgraded processor. Those watch faces are more customizable now, although you certainly don't get as many jazzy animated efforts as what Samsung chucks in. But you can always download some fresh faces from the Play Store, along with any other apps that you fancy. Sadly, the battery life on the Pixel Watch 2 is, for want of a better word, absolute bollocks. You'll be charging this smartwatch every damn day, and there's not even wireless charging support this time around. And the Pixel Watch 2 costs around the same as the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic. And just like that Xiaomi watch, you've also got the choice of chucking even more cash at Google for an LTE version if you don't want to just rely on being tethered to your phone. Another favourite is the Fossil Gen 6, which again has lackluster battery life but impresses in other areas. This 44mm smartwatch is tough but light and boasts an incredible amount of customization. You can even pimp it out with crystals if you're feeling a bit early 2000s hip-hop. The stunning AMOLED screen is bright enough to cope with serious shine, while the SD-Wear 4100 Plus chipset offers similarly smooth performance to the Samsung and Pixel watches. And once again, you've got full access to all of Google's services, including that assistant, so bugger off Bigsby. You get all the usual functionality here, including fitness shiz, contactless payments, everything apart from the ability to stream music to Bluetooth headphones when you've left your phone at home. It might be getting on a bit, but it's definitely still a snazzy smartwatch, and you can check out my full review right here on TechSpert. Now, if this dire battery life is really getting you down, well, no worries. WearOS has a new champion in the Ticwatch Pro 5 from Mobvoi. This clever strap-on boasts a unique dual display design, so you can quickly check the time and your step count, etc. with a low-powered LCD. Only waking the gorgeous OLED panel if you need to play with apps, check notifications, and so on. And thanks to this smarty pants setup, as well as the almighty battery size that Mobvoi has crammed inside, the Ticwatch can keep on going for around 4 to 5 days between charges, which is basically unheard of for WearOS. And even if it's fully drained, just slap it back on its bundle charger for half an hour and you'll get a full weekend of play, no worries. All of the usual WearOS smarts are on board, including the Google Play Store, and you've got a built-in mic and speaker for taking calls. Fitness tracking ain't the best in this rounder, but it should suit most folk who occasionally slap on the Lycra, and it all runs beautifully smoothly thanks to Qualcomm's beefy Snapdragon W5 Plus Gen 1 chipset. And Mobvoi just launched a redesigned version of the Ticwatch Pro 5 called the Ticwatch Pro 5 Enduro. It's practically the same besides a few updates, including tougher sapphire glass for the screen, so it can take a wee bit more punishment. Have it! Now, a serious Ticwatch rival is the OnePlus Watch 2, another WearOS wrist rocket that boasts incredible battery life thanks to its smarty pants dual chipset and dual OS design. You've got all those familiar WearOS features wrapped up in yet another rugged metal body with sapphire glass to finish. That 1.43-inch OLED display is crisp, colourful and brighter than a room full of boffins, ideal for anyone who happens to reside in sunnier climes. Performance is suitably slick, but like the Ticwatch, it is the battery life where this bad boy has its Google and Samsung rivals beat. OnePlus has crammed in a pair of chipsets, including a low-powered effort that's used to track your health stats and power the always-on display, etc, etc. And likewise, there's a simple low-powered UI that's sat on top of WearOS, which is used for basic stuff like checking, what the time is. And as a result, I tend to get at least a solid 3 days of battery life from every charge, even with heavy use. So yeah, cracking stuff. And if battery life happens to be your priority, I'll definitely give a shout out to the Oppo Watch Wi-Fi. This thing is pretty sleek and stylish as long as you don't mind that Apple Watch style square design, with a choice of 41 or 46mm sizes. The near 2-inch AMOLED screen is big, bright and punchy, while the performance is perfectly respectable thanks to that Snapdragon Wear 3100 chip. Not as smooth as some rivals here, but good enough. Pro features like a mic and speaker and GPS tracking are present and correct, and all for less cash than many rivals. But best of all, that VOOC charge support means that the Oppo Watch charges up just as fast as the Ticwatch. You can keep on going for around 2 to 3 days between charges, which ain't too arse. Now, if you happen to have more money stuffed under your mattress than Elon Musk and you're after one of the most premium smartwatches of 2023, you might want to ponder over this expensive and hefty slab right here, the Huawei Watch Ultimate. They really weren't f***ing around when they called it the Ultimate. It's ultimate in every way, including the asking price, which starts off at a trouser-tingling £700. Or you can bump that up to £800 if you fancy this here blue model. Now, this thing is built for lovers of the great outdoors with its uber-tough design and impressive diving creds. It's constructed from ceramic and metal alloy, and you've also got sapphire glass protecting that LTPO AMOLED display, so good bloody luck breaking this thing. And while Huawei's smartwatch UI doesn't offer the same level of app and notification support as WearOS, you do still have impressive fitness features packed on board. Plus, the Huawei Watch Ultimate boasts around 5 to 6 days of battery life even with intensive use. But of course, not all of us have the best part of $1,000 to spunk out on our next smartwatch, in which case maybe check out the Huawei Watch GT4 instead. This gorgeous connected timepiece comes in a more compact 41mm size as well as 46mm, so for people like me with spindly wee wrists, it is a better choice than that Ultimate. It doesn't dangle off you like you're 8 years old again and borrowing your dad's watch to play dress up. And Huawei is offering a selection of tantalizing designs to suit all tastes, not to mention budgets. If you grab one of the larger 46mm models, you will enjoy up to a fortnight of use on a single charge. And yeah, even if you knock on all of the features, including that always on display, you can still expect a full week of use before it's finally drained. Like that Ultimate model, the Huawei Watch GT4 supports dozens of exercises, even dubious ones like board games, with dual band 5-system GNSS tracking for outdoor shenanigans. And if you happen to find yourself lost in the wilderness, well, the handy route retracing feature will get you back to civilization before you find yourself adopted by a family of friendly wolves. And the Huawei Watch GT4 also boasts an upgraded TrueScene heart rate sensor and loads of fantastic health-related tools to keep tabs on your stress levels, periods, calorie consumption, pretty much everything that's going on with that fleshy prison you call a body. Alternatively, the Huawei Watch 4 Pro is another chunky beast that'll test your biceps whenever you lift your arm to check the time. Battery life isn't quite as good as the Ultimate, but you've got pretty much the same set of features here, even a bit of eSIM action, and it only costs $500. And Huawei just launched an even more spangly Space Edition version of the Watch 4 Pro, which I've had a bit of a play about with. And you can find out more about that in my Shorts video, or on my TikTok channel if I actually manage to upload it alright and everything. Like Danny Glover says, I'm too old for this shit. And for even less cash, you could have yourself a Huawei Watch Fit 3 dangling off your wrist. It's an actually affordable Apple Watch style timepiece with a square finish and plenty of health tracking smarts. That AMOLED screen doesn't quite stretch edge to edge, but it is powerfully bright so you won't be squinting outdoors. And once again, you'll enjoy comprehensive support for lots of outdoorsy activity type exercise stuff, including guided warm-ups, running coach shenanigans, calorie tracking, the works. And battery life is better than that Apple Watch as well, offering almost a full week of playtime in between charges. For just over £100, you get a lot stuffed in here, so definitely give my review of the Huawei Watch Fit 3 a proper squint. Now, Xiaomi is one of Huawei's biggest rivals in this department, also offering premium smartwatches packed with great features at an affordable price point. And one of its spangliest smartwatch offerings is the Watch 2 Pro. The big upgrade here is the WearOS software, which means you'll have full dedicated notification support and Play Store access for downloading fresh apps, something you don't get with those HarmonyOS Huawei watches. This stainless steel smartwatch is again a bit of a chunkster with a bright and punchy AMOLED display. It's powered by the Snapdragon W5 Plus Gen 1, so it's rare to see any judders, although battery life is about on par with those Galaxy Watch 6 smartwatches, i.e. a bit cack, so expect no more than a couple of days of play before you'll need to slap it back on the charger. The Xiaomi Watch 2 Pro, like most modern smartwatches, supports a built-in mic and speaker, so you can once again make full use of that Google Assistant or take calls on your wrist if you can't be asked to pull your phone out your pocket. And Xiaomi has also crammed in a solid selection of fitness features, including auto tracking for stuff like walking and jogging, plus accurate GPS tracking. Overall, it's a tasty package with a pleasing price tag, if once again the battery life is poo. And a more recent addition to Xiaomi's range of clever arm jobbies is the Watch S3, another big boy that this time boasts a selection of coloured bezels which can be popped off and swapped around. This time it runs Xiaomi's own HyperOS software, and the result is around a week of full-on battery life, even if you've got all of the features, including that always-on display, switched on. On the downside, however, I have seen the occasional shonky bit of behaviour, shall we say, and also there's no support for contactless payments here in Blighty. But the Xiaomi Watch S3 packs in all the other features you'd expect, including in-depth tracking for well over 100 types of exercise. You've got some serious full-on sleep tracking support, and even a bit of Alexa action. And if you're on an extremely tight budget, well, never fear, the Nothing Watch Pro can be yours for just £69. 69, nice. Despite that ridiculously weenie asking price, the Watch Pro still rocks an AMOLED screen that absolutely slaps, even if there is a distinct lack of auto brightness action. There's no contactless payments and notification support is basic, but if you want to keep tabs on your step count or heart rate or track your sweaty gym session, well, the Nothing Watch Pro can handle it all, no worries. Complete with some surprising premium features like 5-system positioning support to track your outdoory running, jogging, cycling type situations. At this sort of price, the Nothing Watch Pro is a proper banger and one of the cheapest options around. So more booze money when you hit the pub, huzzah. And last up, if you fancy a smartwatch that doesn't actually look anything like a smartwatch, well, definitely check out the fresh new Withings ScanWatch 2. I haven't personally reviewed the latest model, but I'm still a big fan of the original ScanWatch, whose weenie display serves a basic notification support and a bunch of health tracking tools, while still looking proper smart. Plus you get roughly a month of use from a single battery charge. Woof! Love it. And that right there is my full-on roundup of the best smartwatches that I've personally tested and reviewed. Now, there are lots of smartwatches, kiddies, and sadly only one Uncle Spurt, so I may have missed off your own personal favourite. If so, definitely feel free to express your opinions using your favourite expletives down in the comments below. Now, die-hard fitness fanatics, for instance, should apparently check out the Garmin watches. They get absolutely rave reviews from all of my mates who are considerably more buff and considerably less alcoholic than myself. Yeah, if you prefer a quick 5k to a quick 5 pints, then I highly recommend the Run Testers. Cracking bunch of lads, and they review all of the latest fitness gear. Well, that's all from me anyway. Please do poke subscribe, ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a ruddy fantastic rest of the week. Cheers everyone, love you!